Too bright. Way too bright. There we go. There we go. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, the authentic football fan channel made in Manchester. And this is your breaking news, transfer show, ownership update, all wrapped up into one. And Mason Mount is officially a Manchester United player. Onana's second verbal bid has gone in, according to Fabrizio Romano and Damartio. Amrabat concrete interest, that's coming out from Sky Sports. And we had a kind of another fake ownership update from a certain individual, which we'll touch on very, very shortly. So welcome to everyone. Plenty to discuss. Make sure you guys are in the comments section. Get your questions in as we go through the topics on the table. And let me know how you feel about Mason Mount as a player. I want to dive into some quotes now that are coming out just from this. So big up to everyone in the chat. The stream's lagging, is it? Am I lagging? Seems fine on my end. Let me know. Let me know if it is. I don't know why I've got a pen on me here, like I'm some kind of construction worker, but stream seems fine on my end. Let me know in the chat, people, if we're good. I know we're all right on the TikTok, so big up everyone on there. Yeah, the stream seems fine. No idea. I'll continue as going, but we'll circle back to that. So, Manchester United have unveiled Mason Mount as a new signing this morning, literally about 20 minutes ago. Mount said goodbye to Chelsea fans yesterday with the bit dubious video because he had different coloured hair, so it was like a pre-recorded. So, obviously, when we saw the pictures of him, I think it was in Cheshire, wasn't it, where he had like the dark hair. So, it was obviously a pre-recorded video. Whether he's kind of noticed or give a shit, I have no idea, but it is what it is. That's irrelevant. A couple of quotes coming out from Mason Mount. So we said it's never easy leaving a club where you grew up, but Man United will provide an exciting new challenge for the next phase of my career. I know just how strong is what? Oh, I know just how strong of a squad it is that I'm joining, and I can't wait to be a part of this group's drive to win major things. Everyone can see that the club has made big steps under Erik ten Hag, having met with the manager and discussed his plans. I couldn't be more excited for the seasons ahead, and I'm ready for the hard work expected here. Man United will provide an exciting new challenge for the next phase of my career, having competed against them. I know just how strong of a squad it is that I'm joining. I can't wait to be a major part of this group, which is very, very interesting. But are we good? Stream's fine? All right, cool. Just double checking. Could just be me, though. Check your internet, Prabhav. Check your internet. Good morning to everyone. Welcome to the amazing Real Red Talk community. I appreciate every single one of you tuning in every morning, every day. But yeah, Mason Mount is official. How do we feel about it? The first sign of the summer. Hopefully the first of many. But I was looking at something last night in kind of preparation for this show. Because, excuse me, because we've spoken about Mason Mount so much and what he'll bring to the team, and we've literally covered every blade of grass, ironically, when it comes to Mason Mount. And I was thinking, well, Liverpool have just signed, I'm going to butcher his name here, I can't say his name, but Liverpool have just signed Dominic Szoboszlai, whatever his name is. Very similar stats to Mason Mount. I think both of them in the first season, not in the first season, in the best season, should I say, got about, double figures in goals and assists. Now, that Szoboszlai's a little bit slightly younger, but they've cost him 70 million, right? Mason Mount's cost us 55 with 5 and add-ons. Mason Mount's won big trophies. Szoboszlai hasn't. Mason Mount's done it in the Premier League before. Szoboszlai hasn't. It's the Bundesliga. And as we know with Manchester United fans, Bundesliga players, the talent doesn't always replicate over in the Premier League. Shinji Kagawa, Jadon Sancho. There's probably more off the top of my head that I can't think of. Now, obviously, there's been successful cases in someone like a Gundogan, for example. But look at Havertz as well. Havertz didn't really come to fruition in the Premier League. So I think that's very interesting. In regard to the money spent, 55 million, a lot of people were moaning about it, the fee. But I actually don't think it's that bad of a... I know he's got 1 year left of his contract, so maybe it could have been 5 million less. But I think we'll look back at this in, 5 years' time when his contract expires, or when we sell him in 4 years, 3 years' time, and we'll be happy with it. Because one, you get a resale value, and two, I think he's a decent player. He is Mason Mount's a very good player. There's a reason why Arteta and Klopp really wanted him. I don't know if anyone's seen the quotes coming out from that, but top managers wanted this player. Why do you think that is? And we've spoken a lot about what he'll bring to the team and how he'll complement it, but what will the players around him, how will they function from it? How will they complement him? So when we speak about players like Jadon Sancho, for example, he struggles, doesn't he, in terms of he's not really one to just 1v1 run at him, create his own kind of chances. He needs pieces of the puzzle being moved around him, right? He needs the left back bombing forward, those overlapping runs, underlapping late runs into the box. And that's exactly what Mason Mount's going to offer. He does offer them overlapping runs, underlapping, late drives into the box, which opens space for Sancho. You always see it with Man City, the late runner, whether it's a Gundogan, whoever it is, driving into that box, which drags players out, and then you create that space, and then Sancho tucks in. So you have a more fluid system. They've put oil on the cogs, if you will. And I think that's what I'll bring for Jadon Sancho. The midfield won't be as stretched as well. You talk about Bruno's game. With Mount's kind of pressing metrics and his versatility as playing as a 10 as well. I think Bruno Fernandes, am I right in saying he probably played the most amount of minutes last season out of anyone? Like, including international games, it was like 72 games, I think, which is just outrageous. So we don't need to stretch Mason Mount. We really, not Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes. Well, we don't need to stretch Mason Mount like that, but Bruno Fernandes as well, we don't need to do that. So it'd be nice to see sometimes Bruno get a bit of a rest, put Mount in the 10, Eriksen, bring him in as the 8 as well. And that's another thing to discuss. Don't just think because we brought in Mount, Eriksen's like, nah, fuck off, gone, like that. It won't happen like that. I don't think by the start of the season, I think the first game against Wolves, I don't think Mason Mount will start. And that might be a hot take, whatever you want to call it. I don't think he will. I think Eriksen will start, and then you'll see a similar transition with like Casemiro, where he comes into the squad maybe after a couple of weeks, and then eventually take the starting 11 spot, because we're not signing him to sit on the bench. That's clear, right? We're not signing him to sit on the bench. So it's an exciting opportunity. I know Luke Shaw's close with Mason Mount and he's good friends with him. You saw him already give him kind of like a welcome message. He'll already know certain ones from English teammates. Harry Maguire. Can't wait for that. No, but like Mason Mount on the left side, Marcus Rashford on the left side, and Luke Shaw on the left. They've obviously know each other, got that chemistry there. I know it's a little bit Brexit FC, and I feel like if this was a signing under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a lot of people would kind of view it differently, wouldn't they? So, yeah, I don't know. But let's get into your comments. I'm hoping this is the first of many, I suppose, is what I'm saying. This is a good start, but if you go get Erik ten Hag's other targets, you know, if you go get Onana, which I'm going to touch on in a second, make sure you leave a like on the video, by the way, and subscribe to Real Red Talk if you haven't already. But we're going to talk about Onana, the verbal bid that's gone in very, very shortly. But yeah, let's just get into all your comments. Got 18 people in the chat, so thank you for joining me, you lovely people. Let's have a look. Mark Ennis is saying good morning. Hamzat Patel says big up, good signing, Money Mace, love it. Red Dino Havoc saying okay. Angie United saying it's about time. Prabhav, sorry, just saying lagging. Anonymous Bangle says Nick, Mount's shirt number is a single digit, MM7. Kind of glad that number hasn't gone to a winger. Beckham-esque. Is he getting the number 7? Is this breaking news? Is he getting the number 7? Surely not. What? Brian Case is saying, so happy we finally announced the signing, but more importantly, Ten Hag has gotten the man he wanted for the past 6 years. Now to go get him, Onana. Gray saying, yes, guys, you're all good. I'm hearing it's gone in with a bid for Onana. Yep. I hope that's a typo, Gray, because I'm not having that. Anonymous Mango, verbal bid, Gray, not a proper bid. Yeah, verbal, great. Sounds like a start, Mango, if agreed formal. Should follow. UFTR says Arteta thought he was going to Arsenal. He did. Vincent saying hi, Nick. Hello, Vincent. UFTR saying we couldn't move for the Ralph Ragnick 4-2-2-2 high press. Do you remember that 4-2-2-2? Do you remember that 4-2-2-2? Oh my God. That first, I don't even think it was 45 minutes. I think it was like first half an hour against Crystal Palace. And everyone was like, oh my God, what is this gegenpress? 4-2-2-2. We're all over him. This is the best thing since sliced bread. Absolutely love it. Blah, blah, blah. And then it just completely died off. Second half, it was like energy gone, tanked. Sancho was like, do you know when you play a five-a-side and you haven't played in years? That's what Sancho looked like. He was on the side like, oh my God, what is this? Not a chance can I keep up this pressing. All this pressing bollocks, not a chance. But I don't think he'll go for the kind of 4-2-2 model. What I do think he'll do, which I've already touched on, having someone like Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes in the team, and then if you have Antony on the right-hand side, Rashford on the left, and I don't know, let's say for argument's sake, you're bringing Erasmus Højlund, right, who's up top. That is a very press-efficient team. And it's the reason why Arteta wanted him, because they press very well. The reason why Jurgen Klopp wanted him, because they're pressing monsters, aren't they? So that's why he wanted Mason Mount in the team. Same reason why he wants McAllister in the team, because he's a pressing monster. So you can see why the coaches kind of want him. it's not going to be possession experts. You're gonna have a high intensity. You're gonna have a high press. You can try win it high up, counter press. That's the way it's going. And I touched on this. We had Alice Talks Footy on yesterday. I don't know if anyone's seen that show. For people on TikTok, they'll probably know her, and YouTube as well, obviously. But we had Alice on yesterday. Made some very, very good points about Mason Mount, and we agreed on the fact that that feels like the way it's going, especially if you bring in, excuse me, my nose is going like mad. Hay fever is real, people. I'm telling you, it's absolutely real. Oh, there we go. And we was agreeing on a point that, you know, if you're going to bring in Onana, it's obviously the distribution, the command of the box, all this kind of stuff. That's what he brings with him. But the high line as well, when you're playing a high line and you have De Gea at the back, who, again, is like a fucking 3-year-old with a dustpan and brush when it comes to sweeping. He's not capable of it, whereas Onana is like elite, top level at it. That means you can press higher up the pitch without having to worry what's behind you. So I'm sure Lissandro and Varane, if the Onana deal happens, which I'm going to touch on in a second, will be happy with that. So you can see the tactical qualities that the coach wants to bring to the team, and I think it's very interesting on that front. He's getting 19, Varane gets 4. That's what I thought he was going to get. That's what I thought. Yes, Nick Garnacho, number 7. Potentially, that's another thing we touched on with Alice yesterday. Anonymous Mango says someone slowed down the teaser video and his shirt number looked like a single digit. Interesting. Conspiracy Roads in the chat. We've got 23 people. Leave a like on the video, please, if you haven't already. Red Devil Yannick says, good signing. Can't wait for Mount to play for Man United. And Gray says, I think Onana 90% coming. Right, let's get on to Onana then, because I said we would discuss it next. So, Manchester United have made a verbal offer of 45 million euros for Andre Onana, but Inter Milan wants 60 million euros. Seems like Inter Milan need to budge a little bit on this. They did sign him for free, so it's like, what are you doing? I understand United have presented in the morning, or this morning, I think it would have been, this is what Fabrizio Romano saying, their verbal proposal for Andre Onana, £39 million total package, add-ons included. The bid will be official soon. Inter expect 60 million for Onana, add-ons included. No agreement at this stage, but Onana is keen on the move. So what is the middle ground on this deal? What should we spend? What's the maximum we should spend? I mean, most people don't give a fuck anyway because it's not their money. But if we're not going to be taken as mugs, essentially, let's put it like that, how much should we spend on Onana? Put it in the comments and I'll read. Let's read some TikTok comments out because I've been neglecting that a little bit. Are we bidding for a new striker? That'll come after the Onana thing, I think. Rice, much better than Mount. I mean, Arsenal have just paid the most they've ever paid for a player and is now the most expensive English player ever. Real Madrid played less for Bellingham and we paid half amount, so I'm not really bothered, to be honest. Glazers forever? Absolutely not. Get out the chat. Lots of news at Takeover being announced today. Don't hold your breath, mate. Do not hold your breath. Jay McGogger saying, easy, Nick. Reed Sancho smokes and plays his blood. That wouldn't surprise me. It looks like, to be fair, it looks like the type of guy. I don't mean that as a stereotype. I just mean in general, he's quite like chilled and slow talk. It's just, yeah, Stoner FC. Are we bidding for a striker? We don't spend. Liverpool create the best. I mean, why is it this TikTok just, it brings random fans? I don't know what it is. It's very strange. For an English player, it's not bad. Liverpool, kids on 100k a week, Mounts on 300. Yeah, wages is something we pay absolutely ridiculous, to be honest. Absolutely ridiculous. But we're talking about Onana. I've already spoken about Mason Mount. So get your comments in about Andre Onana. I wish I had the soundboard to press it, but I don't. So it is what it is. But yeah, maybe 50 million euros, I'd say, with 5 million euros. Is that sufficient, do you think, for a deal like this? I think that's the kind of middle ground on this. United offering like, you know, 39 million pounds plus add-ons, and then it's confusing because people use euros to make the deal sound like it's more. Do you know what I mean? I'm sick of this. Can we just use one currency? I appreciate you're in Italy, we're in England. Can we just agree to use one currency when we speak about this deal? Because it just confuses me. So Inter Milan want 60 million euros. We want to pay 39 million pounds. Someone convert it because I can't be asked. Just meet in the middle. I think 50 million euros with 5 add-ons. Maybe that'd be fair. And we had the news come out last night, didn't we? That excuse me, that Saudi Arabia are interested, or maybe it was the day before in Andre Onana, but he's turned down that interest. He doesn't want to join there, which is a positive for us. He wants to join Manchester United. He's keen to link up with Erik ten Hag. That's the main thing. Mason Mount wanted to join specifically because of Erik ten Hag. There was interest from Arteta. There was interest from Klopp. But Ten Hag was the main deciding factor in that. And I think this will be the exact same with Andre Onana because he is the priority. You know, it seemed like David De Gea was going to sign his contract. That's floated away now. Onana's priority. You go get the manager's priority options. It's as simple as that for me. So, yeah. But we did have some news come out last night that I think the Brighton goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez, has emerged as a potential target. And you've heard of Kevin Trapp as well, who's a goalkeeper for Frankfurt. These guys have kind of been linked, but I don't want no secondary options. We don't want the side plates and the, you know, this isn't, what do they call that spot? Tapas. You know, it's not these small plates that are on the side and we just take an option. To go get the main meal. That's what we want. Onana's main priority target. Go get him. We just got one with Mason Mount. You bring in Onana as well. And then most likely Rasmus Højlund, I'm guessing, depending on what happens with the budget, etc., and how many players that we sell. They are the priority. So make sure you get the goalkeeper's priority. Absolutely. And then I've seen something about Dean Henderson as well. So apparently Dean Henderson considering staying, and which is absolute crap. But Samuel Luckhurst have put United are pussyfooting over Dean Henderson. It's been suggested United want to speak to Henderson to gauge whether he wants to stay or go, but he wants to go. How does that statement in itself not contradict? Man United are pussyfooting over Dean Henderson. It's been suggested United want to speak to Henderson to gauge whether he wants to stay or not, but he wants to go. United just, do they have like communication problems? Like Inter Milan said, we want 60 million euros. Right. Well, we'll put 30 plus 5 and then we'll verbally put 39. We want 60 million euro, 30 plus 5, 35. Dean Henderson, I want to go. I want to leave. We'll have a conversation with you, Dean, tomorrow, whether you want to stay. I want to go. Okay, Dean, we'll speak to you about it tomorrow. Yeah, just like United. What's the slow? They don't communicate. I don't know. I have analogies for him, but analogies I can't say on camera, so I'll leave that in my own head. Right, let's read out some comments about Onana because loads of these are getting him in. Let's have a look. Rohan Nayak says 50 mil. Anonymous Mango says 40 mil plus add-ons. Saint saying Gray, behave yourself, please. Okay. UFTR says they also paid 65. Siren there. They also paid 65 million for Havertz. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that Havertz business. 65 million. Weren't great for Chelsea, in my opinion. I mean, I'm sure Chelsea fans could tell you different, but yeah. Brian Casey saying Inter wants 60 for Onana, but willing to sell for 50. We bid 40. Why don't we just offer the 50? It's still a bargain. I think that's a fantastic price for Andre Onana. Honestly, I think 50 million euros is great. He's a top level keeper. I know they got him for free, but he will improve us significantly. It's one of Ten Hag's top signings, and you're still technically there got Mount and Onana for 100 million, which is great, is it not? So I'm happy with that personally. Abibi Diaslo says I want to Amrabat and Onana to United. I want to talk about Amrabat in a second as well. You all give me the perfect segues into these next topics, which I'm a big fan of. Jay McGogan says, I think with Onana's ball playing, there'll be less space between Casa and the back line, which would be a positive against the blue spunk balls. Gray 100 saying it's okay. I'm not getting into all this arguing back and forth. UFCR says we should have gone for Rick Verbruggen, the lad Brighton have just signed. In fact, just get Brighton scouts. Yeah, cut out the middle, man. Don't go identifying their targets. Just go get the guy who's getting them because their scouting's fantastic. David The Shaw says, I like what I've seen with Onana and his footwork, but I've also seen some videos where he's terrible at shot stopping. Yeah, there is bits like that, and there is mistakes that he's made as well. But look, Alisson makes mistakes, and in my personal opinion, I think Alisson is the best goalkeeper in the world. I know he plays for Liverpool. I know people won't like hearing that, but he is. And Edison's one of them as well, and he makes mistakes. But from what you get from them, I mean, just go back and watch the final against Man City in the FA Cup or Brighton in the semi-final and just watch how many times David De Gea has the ball at his feet, kicks it long, goes straight back to him, they recycle possession, and Brighton and Man City are back on the attack. Just watch how many times that happens because he's not capable. He's scared of playing out from the back. He hasn't got the ability. He hasn't got that pass when he gets pressed, that chip lob pass over to the left back or the direct pass into midfield. Onana has that in abundance. So you can't press. You can't press him. It's impossible. Pep Guardiola said this as well. So, yeah, I believe it'll be important in that dynamic. But look, it doesn't mean he's the perfect shiny keeper to go and get. I agree with you in that regard. Like everybody's thinking he's going to be God as soon as he comes in. You know, the United pressure, the lights under Old Trafford at the best of times can ruin a keeper. We saw it with Dubravka. He had like one game and then pissed off back to Newcastle, and you're like, and I think he's got a Carabao Cup medal on it. Insane. Scoreboard says he'll probably, go to Bayern Munich as they're pissed off with Manuel Neuer. Interesting. I'll look into that a bit more. Jay McGogan says, poach Brighton scouts, 500 a year each. Seriously, Brighton scout and transfer policies, bang on, can't fault them. Absolutely. We've got Rohan saying, I don't think Mount is good enough. I mean, that's your opinion. It's up to that. Jack McEwen saying, I think we should try to get Evan Ferguson. He's just signed a new contract, so that won't happen. Shabazasly and McAllister are clear of Mount. Are they clear of Mount? Is McAllister's... Listen, when players move from Brighton, from that system, whether it's a De Zerbi system or a Potter system, I'm not saying he won't suit Liverpool and he won't fit there, but the translation to Liverpool is completely different. It'll take a while for him to settle in. Will he be as good as he was at Brighton at Liverpool? I don't know. 45 plus add-ons is a reasonable price. Everybody will agree with me. I mean, he's pretty sure on that. Onana is a goalkeeper. Mount is a cam, though. I don't get your point. We signed Mason Mount for 60 million. Onana is a better player. How can Onana be a better player when he plays in net? That make sense. Anonymous Mango Mount, personal terms were agreed on May the 20th, 5 days before United beat Chelsea 4-1 at Old Trafford via the Athletic. Yeah, personal terms with Mount was never a problem. It was obvious the way Chelsea handled that whole situation with the contract. I mean, he wanted to earn, I think, similar to what Reece James was on and a couple of other players. Chelsea were having it, so he was like, right, well, United are giving me a lucrative offer there. It's a great project. I'll go there. Like any other player in this chat would right now, and any other rival fan would. So I don't blame him at all. And yeah, that's never been an issue with Mason Mount. So let me just get a quick drink because my throat's absolutely killing. If I've got a drink, I don't even know. No, not got a drink. That's fine. Oh wait, actually. Oh yes, I have. Nice cold Vimto is what I've got. Throat's absolutely in bits. Oh. Don't forget, we've got another show tonight, 7 o'clock. We'll be talking. I'm sure there'll be more updates on the ownership, which I'll touch on in a second. Onana could be a bit more advanced by then. Loads of stuff. I'll have a couple of lads on from then. Tomorrow there'll be 2 shows again, one at 12 o'clock and then one late night live with Jay Motty from Stretford Paddock. So don't miss that as well. Very, very busy with Real Reds. But yeah, Amrabat. Sofian Amrabat is earmarked as a replacement for Fred, who's been attracting interest from Fulham and Saudi Arabia, while Scott McTominay could also depart from Manchester United. That's coming from Simon Jones at the Mail. Apparently, the interest in Fred is genuine from what I've read. Now, which one would you know what? I'll put a poll up in the chat just to see what I'll end this poll. I'll put a poll up at the start saying rate the signing of Mason Mount out of 10. 33% have said 10, 17% have said 9, 25% have said 8, and 25% have said 7. Now, you can only put 4 options, so I couldn't put 5, 6, 4, 3. Do you know what I mean? So I'd take the point. Some people might think 5 and lower. That's absolutely fine. But what I'll do is I'll end that poll. Now, this is the real poll. Are you ready? Who would you rather sell? Tomine or Fred? Last away. Have your way with it. I'm just curious. Would you rather sell McTominay or Fred? Comments. Let me know. And I'll come back to that very, very shortly. Also, I would also like to sell both, Abdullah. I'm with you on that, absolutely. Is Amrabat a level up on these players? He is, isn't he? I mean, I don't watch Fiorentina relentlessly. I'm not, I doubt a lot of people do. But from what I've seen from Amrabat in the World Cup, little bits I've seen when he has played in like the Europa Conference League, for example. I like him, very combative, decent on the ball. I think Chivy described him as a technical bully, which I liked. I don't like bullying, but I get the point that he was making. Bit of a bully on the pitch, but technical as well. A little bit towards Gattuso, I'd say, in that regard. But Gattuso was just his own kind of entity, wasn't it? But I'm a fan of Amrabat. I like him. I think he's an upgrade on McTominay or Fred. They've had the time now. Like Scott, since he's come through, a lot of coaches love him. He's a fantastic player, but he's not at the level required. And I think if you have, especially at the number 6 position, I don't think any of them two, putting one of them two at 6 is just like having a clown there. You might as well get the clown from the grid and bang him in the number 6 position because he's not capable of playing there. And that's something that I'm worried about. If we go into next season and Casemiro likes to pick up suspensions, as we know, who's going to play at the 6? You know what I mean? Are you going to play Bruno there again? You know? Are you going to play Scott McTominay there? Like, not happy. Not happy with that. So, an Amrabat, for the price that's being quoted, for 25, 30 million, I think would be a nice bit of astute business. If you could get 20, 25 mil for Fred, you know, say if you sound Saudi Arabia and you go buy Amrabat for 25 million, that would be fantastic business. But United don't do fantastic business. So I ain't living in dream world at the minute. I don't see it happening. It'll probably happen towards the end of the window, if anything. So, yeah. Is there anybody else in Europe you'd go for? The price seems decent, like I touched on, but I'll see what your scouting's like now in the TikTok and the YouTube. Anyone else in Europe for that price who could cover as a 6 for Casemiro? And let's see what your scouting's like. Forget Brighton scouting, forget United scouting. I want to see your scouting. So, yeah, I'll read out a few comments whilst you've got time. Nick, what is your Twitter? I need to DM you ASAP. My personal one or Real Reds Talk? My personal one's just Nick McCabe, and then the Real Reds is just Real Reds, so we should be able to find it. Grey 100, I'm not going. UFTR says Lindelof has the ability to play 6. I've seen this before, but he's not great on both feet. I don't think Lindelof. He's not physical enough. Scanning's completely different when you're playing as a 6 as opposed when you're in the back line, apart from the keeper, you know, you've got the whole full pitch in front of you. When you're playing as a 6, you know, you've got a lot going on around you, spatial awareness, etc. He doesn't play there regular. I mean, maybe he could do a job in a certain game, but I wouldn't trust him. Like, and why as a club like United, why are we saying, oh, don't buy a 6, let's just put Lindelof there? Do you know what I mean? So, Brian Keys saying De Jong. I wish, mate. I fucking wish. UFTR says Vermeer and the young Belgium kid from Antwerp. Very interesting. I'll have to take a look at him. Not seen much of him. Let's see what a TikTok is saying. Tchouameni. I don't get why Madrid would spend £70 million on Tchouameni and then loan him to United. Just that doesn't never equate it to me, to be honest. Obviously saying Scott should go. Let me sort this camera angle out because it's atrocious. We need Mbappe, Harry Maguire out of United. Thoughts on the takeover news being done deal today? Bollocks. Absolute bollocks. I'll tell you now, right? If the takeover gets announced today, I will do something ridiculous on camera. I'll either shave my head or I'll just do something ridiculous because it's not happening. All these people that are trying to get the jump on it. I put on Twitter last night, right? Isn't it funny how Rio Ferdinand said yesterday that something's going to be announced, not yesterday, the day before, sorry, that something's going to be announced about Qatar. Fuck all happened. But then all these ITK accounts and all these Qatar journalists and all the papers and stuff like that, all of a sudden, imminent. Takeover news is imminent. Hours away. Deal hours away. All right, so have you got actual knowledge or are you just taking Rio's word for it and then trying to get the jump on it because you've got like a few thousand followers? Stop giving us bollocks because as United fans, when we genuinely want this to happen, we've had to deal with the Glazers for 18 years. 18 years we've had to deal with them. And when you're spouting absolute crap out, like, gonna happen, you get United fans excited. We're like, oh, maybe it will. Like that thing 3 weeks ago when the kid in Cardiff, fucking whatever it is he did, from a betting account, tweeted about this paper that apparently Qatar have confirmed it and it's owned by his dad and it was absolute bollocks and everybody's getting dead excited. We've had that for, what? God knows how long. Since November, they announced strategic alternatives and we're still sat here discussing it now. So I ain't believing any takeover news until something absolutely concrete comes out from whether it's Bloomberg, whether it's David Ornstein, Romano, which, to be honest, they're transfer journalists, so they won't. I don't think they'll get the scoop on it. But maybe a Mike Keegan, maybe a Ben Jacobs, someone like that. Concrete news saying actually happening. Because Rio coming out and saying that, there's only one thing that happens with that. Your credibility goes like that. Straight down the grid. Because next time he says something, that's twice he says something about Qatar now, and nothing's come to fruition about it. So anything else he says now, I'm going to be like, bollocks. I'm going to do that thing that Carl Pilkington does when he said, when they asked him what if you had a superpower, Carl, what would you have? And he says, I wish I could just see all bullshit things that are going on in the world. I'd fly through the door and go, boom, bullshit. And that's what I want to do. Anyone who's putting out, I mean, Neil Custis has put something out today about Qatar to be announced today. All right, Neil, where have you got this information from? Why are you the only guy who's got this information? Why are no financial outlets reporting it? Financial journalists reporting it. But you've got the scoop, have you? Yeah, amazing. Neil Custis. Neil Custard, mate. Jay McGregor says, it's not like Qataris are dealing with one man. I suspect the Glazers themselves have been indecisive between them. I'll tell you now exactly what's happening with the Glazers, right? There's 6 siblings. Darcy, I literally know 3 of the names. Joel, Avram, Darcy. The rest, I think it's Kevin, Keith, Peter, Gertrude, Stanislas. I have no idea. Apparently, there's 6 siblings. They're all squabbling amongst themselves as to who gets what piece of the pie, whilst we're laying like, come on, mate, are you going to sell us or what? Transfer window's open. They're all sat there discussing who's going to get the most out of something that they've inherited when they're selling it for 10 times the amount. It's outrageous. It's Stanislas. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the names, but I know there's 6 of them squabbling over who's going to get the most money, who's going to stay. I think Joel and Avram want to stay at the club for whatever reason because they're such good owners that they think, oh, maybe they'll miss us. No, we won't. Piss off. Simple as that. I've gone off on a tangent there from Amrabat, but we've spoken about Amrabat. So the last kind of thing I wanted to touch on, and again, I don't know if any of you guys are FPL fans or whatever, but United players have come out. Firstly, Bruno Fernandes. So this is the valuations of him. Bruno Fernandes has been given an 8.5 million price, which is a bit of a steal. So when we set up our new league for the season, the Real Reds League, which I'm sure we'll have a lot more members. We had 160 last time, so I'm sure there'll be a lot more, especially the Real Red Ultras. I want to see you guys in there as well. Maybe we'll create an exclusive league for the Ultras. If you want to become an Ultra, by the way, click the join button next to the notification bell. The Rasmus Højlund video has been done, has been edited, and it's ready to go. I'm going to drop it at a certain point at a random time this week, so keep an eye out for that. And then there's another video, which I don't think I've mentioned yet. There's another video dropping this week, taking a closer look at what Qatar would bring to United, a detailed look at it, not just money. And you're like, it's a detailed look. It'll be like a 10-minute video of what they bring, the opportunities, the networking, and what the future could look like for Manchester United if Qatar was to come in. So that's the second video. That'll be dropping towards the end of the week, though. But the first one, the Rasmus Højlund one, the closer look, which is a really good insight. Done a lot of research for it. That one will be dropping soon. I'll have a chat to Sam about that. But anyway, the FPL prices. We'll create a league near the start of the season. We'll have the Real Red Ultra League set up. But yeah, Bruno Fernandes has been given an 8.5 million price tag. Marcus Rashford will cost 9 million. Jadon Sancho still 7 million, which Sancho's always priced at. I feel like they're just looking at how much United paid for him and they're like, yeah, let's just give him 7 million. His price tag shouldn't be 7 million. The stats that he puts out, I mean, he gets on average like 4 goals a season. So what's the point of spending 7 million on a player like that when you can bring in someone like a Gross for Brighton? It'll get you far more points. Diego Dalot, 5 million. Luke Shaw's 5.5. So their prices have been revealed. But I don't know, like I said, I don't know if any of you guys play FPL, to be honest. We've got loads of messages. They're not coming. Stop lying to yourself. Who's not coming? Take good care of Mason Mount. He's my favourite player at Chelsea. We will, Philip. We will, Philip. Don't worry. Ross Lawson saying the club is shambles. Kalen Cox saying we need a 9 before another 6. I agree. Rasmus and Kane would be a dream, wouldn't it? It'd be an absolute dream. I think we should buy Kubo instead of Højlund. Have you got actual knowledge? Actual knowledge of what? You know when people put like it's a very broad set actual knowledge of what the sewers, architecture, like, so, tell me something specific. Right, I'll read out a few more comments and then I'll head off. Vincent Bullock, Glazers could put an OnlyFans to make money, but the OnlyFans wouldn't get a penny because we've got no fans. I like that. Vince says, don't tell me the video you had for blonde hair, now you've got black hair. How long is this recorded? Yeah, mentioned that before. But yeah, that's where we're at in a minute. We'll have a show later on at 7 o'clock, so make sure you come and join us. I'm sure there'll be many more updates with the Onana situation, ownership. Let's see if people are right about this Qatar thing. I think they're talking absolute bollocks myself, but it is what it is. Take care of yourselves. Make sure you leave a like on the video if you're watching this later on. Subscribe to Real Reds Talk for people on TikTok. The link is in the bio. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Peace.